Hey guys, so I thought I'd shoot a quick video here. So you see I got the door open. I've got this panel loose here. It's being held in by one screw down there. But I was going to try and put a driver alert sign. I don't have it, but I was just trying to see kind of how this was set up back here before I made any plans. And I was thinking just run it up through here, you know, put a hole through this. But I realized this is structural right here, so best not to put a hole in it. This is part of the body structure. So, as you can see here, right, I mean, this is part of the actual skeleton of the body, and I don't want to put a huge hole in it just to do something flashy. Because I'd have to run 8 wires through there and then up, essentially up through here, and I probably could run a wiring harness up through here, but I don't want to have to put that big of a hole in this, because I don't want, if I get in an accident or whatever, I do not want to risk that breaking. So, well, not breaking, but, you know, bending when it shouldn't, in a way that it shouldn't. But, yeah, so I may just have to run it, you know, put a smaller piece of square tubing right here and cover the wiring harness, but run it straight into up here if this is also not structural, but I believe it is. So, I may not even end up doing it at all, just because I don't want to ruin the structure of my bus, and I also don't want to make it look terrible. So I don't know, I'll think about it, but basically I'd have to run it in this side. So this is the side that the door is attached to. It'd be nice for the door open from that side, because I could just run it straight up to, I could run it pretty much from there up to up there, but that will not work. So I'll either have to figure something else out or just scrap that idea altogether. I was talking with John last night about my Sho-Me flasher unit project, and he basically told me that everything that I've planned out seems like it's a good idea, and he knows what he's doing. I barely know what I'm doing, and you can hear the floor crack, and that is why I would like to replace the floor at some point too, especially right here. It is a little bit soft, but you see the rust and plywood coming up through the floor where I have this holes for the bolts for the seats that are not in here at the moment. But let's see. I was gonna put this in, but I don't have big enough screws, so I need to go get some sheet metal screws that are a little bit larger. I think I have 12s. It probably needs to be about 14. I might buy some 13s and 15s just in case, but I'm gonna guess it's about 14. While I'm out, I'm probably gonna buy a fold-up table so that way I can do some painting behind my bus and it not get on the bus, but also not on the ground. So that way I can paint the grill and the bezels and eventually the seat frames. Coming up here, let's see, I'll go on this side. Get a better look at this up here. You can see this really needs redone, especially that side. But top of this visor here is pretty much white. You can see some of this around here is starting to not look so good. So I would like to redo this, sand this down a little bit and redo it. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some thin painter's tape. I'm going to put it over this, draw the line, take the tape off, put it on some cardstock, cut the cardstock along the line, and then basically put some more tape down, put the cardstock on top of it, cut the line in the tape, and then take the tape off of wherever I put it on, and put it on here. That's how I'm going to try and mask this off. It's a process, but unless somebody else has a better idea, that's all I've got pretty much. So, yeah, I might see if I can try to do this a little better too, but we will see. Here's my roof in case y'all ever wondered. I need to clean it and repaint that thing, take it off and repaint it. But definitely needs cleaned. And here's a view of the hood. But go back inside and talk about the Sho-Me flasher a little bit. Basically, this is where I want to put the unit, somewhere in here. Probably down here where there's a little bit of room. I need to see how big the thing is. Really don't even know what this is right here. But I assume it's important, so I'm not going to remove it. Let's see if it says over here. Let's see, that's the on this side. Let's see. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. But I'm going to probably try and put that Sho-Me unit here, even if it's not actually like screwed in. As long as it's just kind of hanging out, still works and everything. That's all I care about. But one of the more annoying parts is that the switch panel is pretty much right here, and this is all the way down here. So I got to run all those wires up this way, up through the body there, which that's really not going to be the hard part. I don't think. They're doing construction over there, so that's what you hear. But the interesting part is going to be when I not only running it through here, which John told me a good way to do that, and I'll get to that here in a minute. I'm basically going to work my way from the front back, even though during the actual project it's probably going to be back to front. But well, the warning lights up here I'll have to run this way and down. I'll either run them down through that wiring harness, or I will actually run them down through here. So basically I got to take all this stuff off. Seat belt, take that screw. There should be a screw like right about here for the window, so right behind here somewhere should be a screw. Got to take the seat belt off like I said, and then screw down here. Well, maybe I won't have to take that one off down there, just this one right here, the one up there, and then this screw right here. Maybe, yeah, there's another one behind the seat belt there. So yeah, so one right there. Now I have to run the wires basically down this way, or you know, I might just run them all down that way, but I really don't think I'll have room for 8 wires. Well, really all I have to do is connect them. I can connect them up in here maybe and just run 2 wires down this way. I might do that. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out. But basically I'm gonna have to run wires because I'll only have 2 outputs that these are going to be connected to. So bring this back out. So basically the yellow and the blue are my 2 outputs. That's all I have to run to the warning lights. So I could do all the wiring to each light up in here and then just run the 2 wires. Yeah, I could do that. I could run the 2 wires maybe down through that harness there and into the unit. Or I might end up just putting the unit behind this just to make it easier. I'd rather it be out there in case I need to change it out, service it, whatever, so that way it's easier to get to. But for the ease of this project, I might just worry about having it back here so that way I don't have to run 5 wires down through there into there. But I'll see how hard it is to run the wires. It doesn't look too bad, but the hardest part is going to be, honestly, the most annoying part, I think, is going to be getting this entire section out. I've gotten it out once, and it was a pain in the butt, and I just did it on a switch panel that I had out of a bus, because I have a couple of these extras. So I just did one, and with me being able to rotate it and everything, still a very royal pain in the butt. So I might just end up unplugging everything in here, taking all of this out, and then just being able to work with it here, do my thing, put everything back together, and do it that way. But it's still going to be a pain in the butt. I hate getting these switches out of these panels. Whenever they're out, they're easy to work with, but just getting them out of these panels, because there's so many little clips that hold them in, and they clip back so easy, or like, you know, relatch themselves. It's just a royal pain in the butt, and I hate dealing with it, but it's going to be worth it. So I already have my switches picked out over at my storage unit. I'm basically going to have a pilot light, and I think it's the master. So it's going to be master, pattern, or basically master is the on-off switch. So on-off switch, pattern change, and then a pilot light. So I'm going to put them on the end here, so that way it's just easier to deal with, and it gives a little bit of space between the clearance lights, this pilot light, and then you'll have your three over here. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's actually hooked up to the master flasher for the warning lights. So I don't believe that will be going off with my Sho-Me, since my lights will be ran otherwise. But also another thing, I think this is a camera wire. I really don't want to run it in the dash or anything, so I probably won't. But I was thinking maybe I could just run the two wires down the window pillar there. I might, well, John was also telling me that whenever I hook the lights up, the LEDs, to test them, and whatever wire is not hooked up to the warning light flasher, so let's say the solid output on the actual light itself, the one that'll eventually be going to the Sho-Me flasher, hook a voltmeter to it, make sure that there's no power coming through. And if there is, then I need to put a one-way diode, so that way the power only goes one way, like into the light, and it doesn't come back out and then mess up other things in the system. So that's a lot to take in for today's video. But one more thing before I go, because I already said I'd mention it. John, whenever he did his speaker wires, he said basically just take out everything but the top screws. So these screws right here, keep them in. This one comes out. This one comes out. So that way it's still held on, and you have some room to work with. And basically, that way you don't have to have somebody else to help you put the panels back up, and it's a pain in the butt. But just, it's easier to do it that way. So basically what's going to have to happen is, I think I did that on my rear roof cap whenever I was trying to figure out a clearance light issue when I first got this bus. My middle clearance light wasn't working. And so basically I'll just have to take this pad off, and then take these screws on the bottom out, and then I think I'll have to take these on this side off. I'm not going to take these top ones off, because all I have to do is access the lights that are pretty much like right here, behind the 23, behind the child check reset button. I pretty much just have to access the lights that are right here, so I can reach in and do that. I can even have them disconnected, and I can hop out of here and connect them in here, but just use this to run the wires, essentially. All I have to do is reach up and kind of get it in the right area, and then essentially do the same thing for this, and putting something like the cap of a paint can, spray paint can, in here to pull this panel out enough for me to get my hand up in here, run the wire, come back here, run the wire all the way down to the next panel, which is right here, run the wire all the way down to the next panel, and then just keep running it all the way down till we get right here, and then run it up to here. So I'm thinking that this entire panel is going to have to come off in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure if this is holding, I'm not sure what that's holding on, those rivets. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I might just try to do all the wire running whenever I get my air horn, or at least the air line to the air horn hooked up, Well, I would like to just do a lot of this stuff at once. That way I don't have to take it apart 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So maybe I'll just see what I can do about installing that air horn. Even if I don't hook it up, I can just have the air horn there. And then that way I can run the air line, or have the air horn there, and then I can come back in with the air line and hook it up by doing the same method there, just taking off the bottom screws and pulling this out a little bit. And because basically the air line is going to have to go from the seat here where it hooks up in the seat back over this way. I might even maybe not, but I might even drill some holes in the side of the switch panel here and run it kind of underneath the driver's compartment here. See if this, I think this comes, yeah, that comes out, so I can get in there fairly easy if I need to. Just drill a small hole pretty much right under where the compartment would be. Which I believe it might go all the way down. I don't know. But maybe I could just run the air line like, oh yeah, I could probably just run it in this gap right here. So there's a gap right here. I could run it back here, or I'd have to drill a hole in the body, or not the, I'd have to drill a hole right here to run it up through here and up here where the air horn's gonna go. So I'm thinking, since this is all the way up here, I'll have plenty of room up here. Pretty much anything above the driver's window under the Bluebird logo, I think, is what I'm going to shoot for. Or I might try to do it above. I'll have to take a look. Let's see. I think it would look better above, but it would be easier to do it below. And I'm really mainly concerned about just how it works versus how it looks. But it is kind of hard to see. Let's see. I might try to do it kind of in between the wings of the bird. So like where the bottom is and where the wings of the bird is, I might try to do that but farther back a little bit, or I might just try to do it above the bird entirely. So basically the bird is on the curve. Sorry, I'm brainstorming out loud here. Let's see. So I could definitely put it right here. That would probably be the easiest way. Yeah, I might just go ahead and do it right there. I know a lot of them actually had it like kind of more up here, but I don't think my cord would be long enough to actually come down here and screw in right there, which is where I'd like to hook it up to. So I'll probably just do it like right here, so that way the cord can come over here. Might get in the way of the fan, but I think we'll be all right. Even if I have to screw the thing in here or whatever, that'd be fine. I just want to make sure my cord is hanging right here, so that way whenever I am driving and I want to honk it, all I have to do is right here, honk honk. But go to the storage unit because it is still open, I believe. Should be. So I'm right here, yeah. This is a long video, I'm so sorry. This is not the horn I'm using. I think I have one in there. Oh, actually, here's the cord. It's got everything we need right here. So basically, right there. And this right here screws in like that. So that's what connects the airline. So the airline goes in there and hooks into the mechanism, or hooks into the horn there, screws in. So that's exactly the same kind of horn that I'll be using, but it's not the horn, because it is inside the bus. I think I just unscrewed it from the airline on all of these except for one, because I had 3 of these things. But I do not remember what I did with the last one. Maybe it, oh no. No, it's wiring, okay. Kind of looked like an airline at first. I'll find it eventually. It's probably in this giant tote somewhere. I could probably go to Napa with this and say, hey, I need a fitting that goes right here, and I'll measure the distance of airline that I'm going to need. But I'm also going to need a T-fitting to tee into the supply for the driver's seat, which I want to do that at the same time that I do the airline for the air horn, so that way I can just worry about that then. So what I might do is cut a section of the airline off of the driver's seat that is not going to be used. So that'd be this one, unless this has something. Yeah, no, I won't cut a huge section, just enough to where I can get an idea. It looks like this is the same size, and it might even have a size on it somewhere. Let's see, right here. Don't know if you can see that. And I'm sorry if I've been talking and not pointing the camera at. I've just been thinking out loud and looking. But this is the process of trying to work on your bus and A, not knowing exactly what you need to do, and B, trying to figure out exactly what you need while you're in the process of doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up while I'm still ahead a little bit. I think I'm probably behind. I'm definitely behind when it comes to working on stuff. But anyways, I'm sorry this video is over 22 minutes long. But there's a lot that I wanted to go over and a lot of thinking out loud that I was doing. Such is life. And I appreciate you all watching, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day.